it was super personal for me. And that was probably the only time at my time at UMass where I took anything personally as Charlie Titus's son. In the layup lines, when we came out to warm up, they cut the music off. So it was like dead silence so we could hear everyone booing, just throwing pennies and all this sort of stuff. And I got hit with one. And it kind of, this light bulb went off and I'm like, there's been a lot of heartbreak up here. Like I said, Keene wasn't really fond of us. We weren't fond of them. But I'd been to games where, my pops would lose a close game or wouldn't turn out the way we wanted. And we would hear I would hear players or some of the fans say little snide remarks. So when we came out to warm up, this kind of light bulb went off in my head. It's like, you know what? Today's payback day. We were all locked in for that game and really for that postseason. Again, the season that we had kind of prepared us for what we were walking into. But, like I said, it just kind of hit me. It's like, all right, this is the way you guys want to play? Okay. We're going to come out here. We're going to win this game, and I'm going to make sure of it.
Keene had a very big team that year. Going into the game, our plan was to try and make them play in the full court as much as possible. We had split with them earlier in the season. When the game we lost, we allowed them to play in the half court, and it wasn't a game, that type of game we couldn't compete with them in because they were just too big. And they dominated the middle. So we figured if we could get them out and running, our athletes were better overall, man for man, and the matchups would be really difficult for them if they had to play us in the full court. So that's what happened, and I thought that the team did a really good job in a hostile atmosphere. Keene State draws big crowds for basketball. The place was packed. They were clearly intent in believing they were going to win a championship on their home court. The fans were believing it. So I think that it started out very hostile, very loud. But as the game went on, I think that it quieted down because they were stunned. Never got nervous at the beginning of the game because they started out imposing their will. But I think, if I remember this correctly, it was around the 6 or the 8 minute mark. We hit a couple of threes, and we took the lead. Once that happened, once we got the lead, we knew we could get them out of that half-court game, and that was that.
I remember the last 2 minutes or so, or maybe even the last minute, we were pretty much fighting on the court for who was going to hold the ball for the last few seconds. That's we didn't even care who was around us, how anybody was feeling. We had family in the crowd. It wasn't even about them at the time. And it was great because I remember it snowed that weekend. It was like a blizzard that particular weekend up in Keene. And a lot of people from UMass, a lot of our old teammates from the years before, family members, a lot of people made it through. They made it up there, and it was great to see them fans. I really enjoyed that year because we came so close to being a winning team the year before, and there was just a few screws that weren't there, but we brought the majority of the core from the team before into my senior year. It was real good being able to share it with Yuto and Tommy, Tony even, Jimmy, all these guys, we were there when we went on a losing streak, when we beat the losing streak record, when we
yeah, man.
And it was good to just turn it around and see other guys that stuck it out.
I think to finally get over that hump and win a championship was really important for me from a coaching perspective. To end the drought after coming so close so many times.
That team and winning that championship started the momentum that we saw. And, it's like anything else with the people that you work next to or you're around every day. When you see one group reach a certain level, that pushes you to want to get to that level. So the rest of the teams are like, well, man, we got to step it up. It's again, when I go there now and I look at just what the campus has become, what the athletic center has become, it was a lot of the things that we would talk about, man, if we could only if this would only look like this. So looking back on it and seeing where they've come now, it's You know, I'm proud. I think most of the guys would be proud of what we did and what it led to, especially because we just wanted to win that year. Like
Yeah.
all the things that came after it just kind of came.